Hello everyone, I'm Rick Jenkins and I'm the publisher at GSA Business Report, and we're the media company that services high-level business executives in the upstate of South Carolina. And welcome to another episode of Coffee With. And today I'm having coffee with Gary Caldwell. Gary is the president of Caldwell Constructors. Gary, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Oh my goodness, yes. Now, if I remember right, you all been around for 15 years, right? You started this company, you founded the company about 15 years ago.
I did, May 5th, 2005. And had,
you know the day.
I do know the day.
Yeah.
And we had had a wonderful career here with some really good companies in the Greenville area, and it was just time to set sail. So we did that. My wife and I started the business. She was a 51% partner, and my nephew came on board in August, and then my son came on in 2009, and my daughter came on in 10. So it's been very much.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because that's where I was going to go very first. You kind of got a family affair here, and so I just want to repeat that. Your son David, Vice President of Operations. Your daughter Amanda, the controller. Is that right?
That's right.
And your nephew Brett, Vice President of Pre-Construction.
Right.
And your wife still has things to do?
She retired 2 years ago.
She retired, okay, and left you with it. So, you know, when I heard about all this, and you and I, we talked a few times, and I've been over to your place, and I've met your family. And I thought, you know what, when I first heard this, I thought this was a way for him. Starting a company was really his way of giving his kids jobs so he could get them the heck out of the house. Is that right? Because I might do that.
Well, yeah, one was in college and one was already out of college.
Yeah.
But it was just, we saw it as something they were interested in the business. They loved the business.
Right.
And it was just a natural thing to do, to kind of look to the future and do something fun with them.
Yeah, sure.
Growing beyond that.
I think it's wonderful, and I really get the feeling when I come over to your office, I do get that family feel to it, and it just seems really nice to me. It's very relaxed. It's comfortable. How is it working with the kids?
It's awesome. Their personalities are very engaging, very team-oriented. We've got 25 employees now, and it's very much a family with them. In fact, we joked with some of our early employees that they might need to change their last names because we treated them as family. But it's just it's a pretty special environment.
You have about, gosh, what is it, 45 years of experience, give or take?
Right.
Right. So you've been in this business a long time. Started your own business 15 years ago. What led you to make that decision to go out on your own?
You know, I worked for, again, some great business leaders, all of them different personalities, different skill sets, all of them mentoring in different ways. Right. Some may be good mentors, but a couple exceptional people. And one, kind of late in my career, was incredibly impactful for me and encouraging for me. And really the Leadership Greenville Class 29, that all those relationships, I think, was key of some things just aligning for me and realizing it's time. I'm 50 years old. If I'm going to ever do this, I better do it pretty soon. And David was in college. My nephew was out of college working in Miami on a big project, and it just felt right. And so we took that leap, and it was in 2008 came in 2012, but we survived it. Had some continued growth through those tough years, believe it or not. Right. Not necessarily doing the projects that we thought we'd be doing in terms of size, but it kept us employed and kept everybody on full salary. So that's really what made it special. And then we continued to grow and add people that we consider family to our. In fact, we just had a new employee start yesterday amongst all this. So it's,
well, I'm glad to see someone is hiring during all of this, and all of this being, of course, the pandemic. We are filming this on, what is day, April 22nd? Is that right? So we're filming this on April 22nd, just to give you some context when this comes out. But of course, we're right in the middle of, not a lot of companies are able to hire now. So the fact that you are, that's great. Let's talk about the coronavirus and the pandemic, because some industries it has decimated and others it hasn't had as much of an impact. Tell me about your business specifically and the construction industry in general.
Well, Governor McMaster deemed the construction industry as essential services. And of course, that's not necessarily in every market, but that was the decision that was reached. And so we and a lot of our competitors have had a lot of conversations about how do we do this well. We have an association called AGC, Association of General Contractors, it's a national organization. And for 8 consecutive days, we had webinars, Zoom meetings with some of the leaders of the country talking about how we needed to do things safely and all the issues that impact schedules and performance and deliverables. And so we talked, I had probably three good competitors here in Greenville. We talked a couple times a week talking about what we're doing, how can we stay safe, what are the things that are working for each of us respectively, and that camaraderie has been pretty strong. So being certain that as we arrive on job sites that we're asking the right questions and taking the right steps to keep safe and have personal protection equipment and hand sanitizers has been a challenge, but we've had good leadership on our job sites that have kept people safe and distant and not working side by side. So it's been a challenge, but we've been blessed.
You talked about talking to competitors. This is a competitive market, the upstate, for general contractors.
It is.
I'm not sure how many there are, but there's got to be at least 50, if I had to guess. About 40 of them are listed in our annual Business Resource Guide book of lists, and I was looking at that before we came in here. And Caldwell falls somewhere in about the top third of general contractors in terms of size. When you started this 15 years ago, was that the size you were aiming for? I mean, how does it look now compared to what your vision was of it 15 years ago?
You know, I had hoped that we would be about this size. You know, the saying is, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to grow too fast or become too large. That wasn't necessary. So we wanted to be certain our core values were something that we could hold dear to our hearts and execute well, and be certain that we could always deliver, and manage that closely and manage it effectively. And so I mean we've had some good growth. I mean, we've got a pretty major project right now going on. I never dreamed we'd have one of that size right now, but it's been steady.
Now you're talking about project. Are you talking about Woodside Mill?
I am.
Let's talk about that. I'm glad you brought it up because it's where I was going next. Woodside Mill used to be, well, first of all, it's 110 years old, 115 years, that building, right? Something like that. And once upon a time, that was the largest textile mill in the world.
That's correct.
Now, I hope that's true because we reported on it about 4 months ago, so I hope we had it right. But to me, that's absolutely amazing. And so now you take that, it's being turned into luxury apartments?
Apartments. It's 309 apartments.
Okay.
It's 448,000 feet plus amenity buildings.
Right.
And it will be a real significant improvement in the quality of life in that part of West Greenville.
Sure it will. And that building has been sitting vacant for how long?
Most of it probably for 15 years or more.
Right.
There've been a couple of small tenants in it, but it's been vacant.
You had to clear out a lot of cobwebs before you got started.
We did.
Who's your architect?
Ken Betch.
Oh yeah,
Betch
okay.
Architects. Yeah, he's been exceptional. He's done a great job with it.
Right. Have you all worked together before?
We have.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a pretty major project at the what was then the Bilo Arena, now Bon Secours Wellness Arena. We did a project in 2014 together, which was renovating the entire the 30 executive suites, and we just finished another contract out there with Beth Paul and Dwight, renovating the outside and insides of that building as well. So we've done quite a few together. Those two significant, those.
You know, I read this that almost 100% of your business is in the upstate or in the general area.
It is.
Right? You have a little bit outside Asheville. You've got a project in Asheville that you've done.
We've done one in Asheville, one in Lexington, South Carolina, and Rock Hill for a particular client. But most of ours is here. I did a lot of traveling early in my career. I'd try to be home every night and early in the morning, but I was on the road during the day. And with this being a family business and understanding the impact that travel has on young families, we just said, you know, there's enough here. Let's focus on doing business here in the community, because ours is very much a relationship business.
Right.
And so
it's
that's
planned.
been our focus.
This has been planned. It's the way you
Very-
want to do your
very much
business.
so. In fact, we turned down with an existing client a major project in Camden last year, and
Yeah.
we were kind of paused and going, do we need to turn that down, or do we need to find a way to do it? But we ended up turning it down because it's just hard. It'd be 3.5, 4 hours away.
And you decided to turn it down because of the distance.
Right.
Right. So do you even look outside of the upstate?
We really don't.
Yeah.
Those opportunities that we had in those other communities were ones that were kind of strategic. A client called us and said, "We want you to come do those three." So we did those. But there's plenty here.
Well, speaking of plenty here, tell us about some of the other projects that you're working on now.
Well, Ian, we just finished 4 or 5 contracts at the Well, Bon Secours, and we've done a lot of medical offices here in the community. We did a lot in Verde, Parkside Pediatric, Upstate Pediatric Dentistry, Palmetto Family Orthodontics, Carolina Oral Facial Surgery. So medical's been a good part of our business. We're just starting tomorrow another project for Prisma for a practice that they're adding. Pretty important in this time to get that started and completed pretty quickly. And some nice industrial work. We've done a big distribution center out at the Inland Port for Sunex Tools. So, and another industrial project up in Landrum for Scenic Tool, but just a good mix, a really good mix of work, Rick, for us.
What type
Restaurants as well.
Yeah. What type of industry do you prefer, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. We love challenging projects. We did the assembly line conversion for BMW started November 19th, 2005 at 3:40 in the afternoon and had to finish that by December 23rd at 6 p.m. And it was significant.
You know it's a significant project when you remember the time you started.
It was 3:40.
Yeah.
3:40 in the afternoon. We worked 24/7, and I had 25 people, and my partner had 25 people, and we finished it 6 hours early. So, I mean, those super challenging projects that you have to find ways to do are really what's fun for me, and that can be a medical office renovation. It can be anything. It's just something that requires extra effort and more planning and finding ways you can instead of a laundry list of reasons you can't.
That's right.
It's kind of just what gets us up in the morning.
I hear you.
It's just enjoyable.
You know, Gary, I have been around you enough, and I know a few people that know you, and there's something I know about you, and that is that you're very involved in the community. And so I've had a couple people tell me this, and so I've checked into it a little bit, and I saw a list of things that you are involved in, and you're involved in a whole lot. Habitat,
Yes,
right?
We've just gotten back involved in Habitat.
Cancer Society,
Yes.
Leukemia and Lymphoma Society,
Yes, sir.
a lot of stuff. Tell me about it.
Well, we just enjoy giving back, and it allows you to meet people and keeps you from really nose to the grindstone in your business. You need to look up and pay attention to what's going on around you, and the best way to do that is by being involved with things that you're passionate about and give of your time and energy, and let the people that are working with you see that it's okay to spend time doing those things.
Right.
You know, it's not just about the dollar and the job. It's about your quality of life.
That's right.
So those are some good organizations. They're been a pleasure to help.
All right, Gary, we always end the episode of Coffee With in the same way, and that is me asking you, South Carolina or Clemson?
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. You're a Clemson Tiger.
Absolutely.
Did you go to Clemson?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
What about the kids?
Everybody was a prerequisite.
They had no choice. If Daddy's going to pay, you got to go to Clemson.
Everybody chose Clemson.
All right. Well, then you have been a happy guy for the last 4, 5, 6 years.
We have.
Right. All right. Go Tigers. Folks, that concludes another episode of Coffee With. Thanks so much for joining us. You can see all of our episodes on our YouTube page. We'll see you next time.